For today's Dracula... Wait. What is this in the monitor? Kinda cool? I suddenly have a very bad feeling about this. Born in 1952 in Lethbridge, Alberta, and raised in Victoria, British Columbia, Duncan Regehr made his way into the media at a very early age. At the age of 14, Duncan had his own teenage-oriented talk show on the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. And by 16, he was hosting a regular radio program and also figure skating in ice shows while studying theater at the Bastion Theatre School in Victoria and ranking as an Olympic boxing contender. He worked his way up through Canadian theatre and television, working frequently for the CBC as a guest star. As the 1970s were coming to a close, Regehr and his second wife, Catherine Campion, made the move from Victoria to Los Angeles, California. A prolific actor, Regehr has starred in many acclaimed TV miniseries and movies, including The Blue and the Gray and My Wicked, Wicked Ways, in which he played Errol Flynn. He was also in the 1985 TV series V, and played the Heavy in the short-lived Wizards and Warriors in 1983, and if you happen to be a fan of the Family Channel between 1990 and 1993, then you most likely caught Regehr in one of his highest-profile roles as Don Diego de la Vega in Zorro. His guest appearances over the years have included Sybil, Murder, She Wrote, and both Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Deep Space Nine as different characters in each. Regehr still works today, dividing his time between his native Canada and the United States, not only acting but also painting. The son of Russian artist Peter Regehr, Duncan has an extensive background in the visual arts and has been displayed at the Kunsthallen in Copenhagen, the Jellin Collection in China, and the Focus on the Masters Archives for the Getty Museum. He was awarded the American Vision Award of Distinction in the Arts in 1996, and in 2000, he was granted the lifetime appellation Royal Canadian Artist with Honors by the Royal Canadian Academy of Art. He has also been given an honorary doctorate of fine arts by the University of Victoria.
Come on, you son of a bitch.
1987's The Monster Squad is an action comedy in which a gang of monsters that resemble, but are legally distinct from, the Universal monsters seek to destroy the balance between good and evil and plunge the earth into darkness through the use of an ancient amulet. Standing in the way of Dracula and the gang are a ragtag band of young outcasts. It's The Goonies meets Van Helsing, or if you prefer, Raiders of the Lost Ark starring the Bad News Bears. It was the brainchild of Shane Black and Fred Dekker. Black is a Pittsburgh native and graduate of UCLA, who today is best known for his work in the action genre, including scripts for Lethal Weapon, The Long Kiss Goodnight, and Iron Man 3. Dekker, meanwhile, had earlier contributed story ideas for House, Night of the Creeps, and House 2: The Second Story, and would go on to write 4 episodes of Tales from the Crypt, 4 episodes of Star Trek Enterprise, and in 2018 teamed up once again with Shane Black to write the screenplay for The Predator. The movie was released by Tri Arts, who were very clearly working hard to avoid a lawsuit from Universal. It was not a financial success. In fact, it was far from it. Many critics gave it backhanded praise as a solid, family-friendly action flick, although the New York Times' Vincent Canby was not nearly as forgiving, calling it a feature-length commercial for a joke store that sells not great rubber monster masks. From a modern perspective, much of the humor has not aged well, and the movie doesn't live up to the kids' comedy action movies it was emulating. But the film has since found a cult following with cast reunions, screenings at the Alamo Drafthouse, and a documentary on the film's long-term impact entitled Wolfman's Got Nards. There were even rumblings of a remake, with Michael Bay's production company Platinum Dunes pulling the strings, but in 2014 it was announced that the remake had been cancelled and was no longer going forward.
I'm asleep soon, so listen very carefully. Van Helsing's diary is missing. I want you to retrieve it for me. You understand?
Yes, Master.
Regehr doesn't get a lot of opportunities to show off his take on the character in the movie, but credit where credit is due, he went full tilt at the role and never backed off. Many people praise him for a comic take on the role, but if pressed, I would say that Regehr is one of the few people in the movie actually taking his role seriously. The script may treat Dracula absurdly, but Regehr plays it straight, even though he's taking it to a melodramatic extreme. And that's the real strength of his performance. He's ultimately acting in a different film. Everybody else is in The Goonies, and Duncan Regehr is in 1931's Universal Studios' Dracula. Duncan Regehr is 6'5", and that kind of height is of great use when you're playing Dracula, either in a horror movie or a comedy. It lends him a sort of looming presence on camera. According to behind-the-scenes sources, however, Regehr took great pains not to frighten the child actors while working with them on set, even refusing to wear his fangs or his red contact lenses in the presence of 5-year-old Ashley Bank, because she had told him they were too scary. What do you think? Do you count yourself among the many fans of the Monster Squad now that it has reached a level of cult success? Drop down into the comments below and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of Duncan Regehr's Dracula. I admit I watched this movie for the first time just recently for this list. However, I was a big fan of Regehr back in the 1990s as Zorro and Don Diego de la Vega. That was one of my favorite shows on television at the time. While you're down there in the comments, make certain that you hit like and subscribe, ring the bell so that you get notifications, and maybe take a moment and share this video with a friend who might enjoy it. Until next time, I am Glenn Williams, the Film Optimist, reminding you, watch like it means something.